And of course, we're here with you through the mid-morning hours to get you ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel has you covered through all the seasons, which I feel like we've had out there in the last week.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like now we're getting a little bit of a break from the Arctic air, but other things have come in to fill that void.
Yes.
So we're still dealing with a lot of weather, and that does still mean snow, even though maybe it's warmer than average in some places.
You can still snow if you're above average,
Yes.
like we've seen here. These are some of the pretty scenes that we had around the Albany area. I mean, you've got snow on the ground, snow falling. I think we had snow in Georgia on last night about 6:30. I saw just a few flakes in North Georgia.
We were just talking about that off camera. So
Yeah.
you were out at a soccer game, and you look up at the lights, which is what you do, and you thought some snowflakes.
A little bit of light snow, wasn't a lot. But that just tells you, look, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs with this kind of weather pattern that we're in. And even, above average is still cold enough in some locales to get the snow. So we're not done yet. And there are some winners and losers in today's big deal. On the winning side, coral to expel algae living in their tissue, turning them white. And these bleaching events can wipe out coral reefs if they last long enough.
Derek Manzello, coordinator for NOAA's Coral.
Yeah, Derek Manzello, coordinator of NOAA's Coral Reef Watch program. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you coming on today. And last week we were talking about the warm temperature globally, and we showed that really neat immersive technology about going under the water and the impacts here. And this is not just close to home. This is around the globe.
It's amazing. The markers of climate change are not just in the atmosphere, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Seattle, another spot that will start out sunny this week, but as the week rolls on, you'll see the clouds start to move in. It's going to be warm to start, but we're going to bring in a lot of rain this week, day after day of it actually coming our way in Seattle. So let's look at this stormy pattern setting up for us here across the Pacific Northwest. Today, it's going to be mild. We're looking at temperatures close to record-breaking here in a number of spots in the west, and we see the clouds roll in tomorrow. Enjoy it, because now we got rain Wednesday and Thursday. Some of this could be heavy at times, and our temperatures do start to drop off by the end of the week. Here's a look at what's happening over the Pacific. There's a lot of jet stream energy over this area. Strong winds that are kind of driving all this moisture across. You can see right now that we are getting into some rainfall across maybe parts of the Pacific Northwest, or at the very least some moisture, because that's what this is showing us. Here, that's the warm front sweeping in. But we're going to see the big one, this one, coming in as we get through the middle to the end of the week here. And that really ushers in even more moisture, spreading it down the coast all the way through California. And once this comes in, we're going to see some colder air spilling in, and that's going to help move up our snow levels, or move down our snow levels. So we will get to move up those snow totals is what I was going for. All right, so it is an atmospheric river. In fact, it's a Category 4, which means that there's likely to be some problems. On this scale, the atmospheric river scale goes from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst. 1, 2, or 3 are typically pretty beneficial. I mean, we do need to get rainfall from these atmospheric rivers, but once we get up to 4 and 5, there's bigger impacts, high to extreme amounts of moisture. It can last several days, which can exacerbate the impacts, and that's what we will see. Look at Wednesday, it all begins. Thursday, it's still going on. Friday, we're still getting rain, and at this point now, those snow levels are dropping as well as temperatures cool on down. So 3 to 5 inches of rain is a possibility, potentially more, especially in some coastal locations in Northern California. This heavy rain does spread all the way down through the Bay Area, and that moisture spreading all the way across the Mountain West as well. Here's a closer look. Look at Crescent City, maybe 3 or 4 inches. Look around Eureka, and just to the south, 6 inches of rain is a possibility. And then, at first, it is going to be a pretty mild system, so even going up here into elevation change, getting into the Sierra, we are going to see rainfall at first. This could lead to some flooding concerns. We've got possible flooding, Central California for you Wednesday to Thursday, and there's Thursday to Friday. It's all the way down into Southern California, Greg. So we got to be ready for this.
We do, and beaches along the East Coast that you would look for with severe weather. How about that?
The weather's weird, isn't it, right now?
It is weird. We're getting, we did get, actually, you know what? I think we did have some tornado warnings in South Carolina on Saturday. I don't know if that was the storm, but I remember looking at that.
Yeah.
Well, not surprising. Well, we're here with you, of course, through the mid-morning hours to get you ready for the big events in your neighborhood.
That's right. The Weather Channel has you covered through all the seasons, which I feel like we've been getting for some of you in a day. Yeah. We still have some snow hanging on. I mean, we saw that this weekend in the Northeast. And, I mean, look, even above average temperatures can bring snow like we saw.
That's such a good point. I mean, it is January, and yes, average is cold, and even a little above average can still be cold enough to snow, and we've seen a lot of that in recent days.
I'm looking at this video, though, and it kind of reminds me of snow that's like really trying hard to stay as snow.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost rain. It's a very wet snow.
It does. You can see how fast the flakes or whatever they are, the conglomerates, I don't know what you call them, they're coming down hard. That's a sign that you're right near freezing.
Yeah, the hydrometeors, we'll call it.
There you go.
The hydrometeors. Well, there are some winners and losers in today's big deal, and on the winning